What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bronx Pinstripes show. The Yankees lost some games.
They did, but
Whoa!
they won.
What
Don't
happened?
forget, this is the way that it went down, right? They lost the first two, won the second two, so it's a joyous occasion because they won the last two. And
you know what? Screw that. We got to talk about Luis Gil. Just ongoing.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, that is the takeaway from this week.
The guy's not only gonna win the Rookie of the Year as it's going right now, but he's going to win the Cy Young.
Mid-season or early season, mid-season bold prediction.
It's crazy how good he is right now. It really is. And I'm telling you, man, like, this guy has just a ton of confidence in that fastball right now. And he has learned that he can throw the ball over the plate and they still can't hit it. It's got that movement. It's got that movement on the pitch where guys have a very difficult time for whatever reason, or it's deceptive in the delivery. There's something with that fastball, along with the 98 mile per hour, that is very hard to square up, and guys just don't square it up. So when I think that's the next level of confidence is when you know that you can throw the ball over the plate and they still can't hit you.
Yeah, and that's something that he hadn't shown, especially to start the season. He felt like he was nibbling, even though his stuff dictates he shouldn't be nibbling. And then, you think maybe, that Milwaukee start, he got hit a little bit. Maybe that'll cause him to nibble more and be afraid of contact. But yeah, it's just been just the opposite since. Yeah, I forget what happened first. Did the Toronto start happen before or after the Milwaukee start? I feel like, however they went down, but those two were really the last times he didn't pitch well.
I saw a clip somewhere from a there's a new show out there. I don't know if you've seen that Eric Hosmer has with a couple other guys. It's pretty good. They have some fun stories in there, and they had I think Adam Wainwright was on. I think that's who it was, if I remember correctly. And they were talking about just pitchers in general. And one of the big things that they were talking about, some of the guys like Scherzer and Verlander and like some of these guys that have dominated for so long, like the first thing that they would do, and apparently they were looking back at the end of the season, they had some of the highest count of balls over the plate, over the heart of the plate, that stat, and it's because they would get out in front, they would throw the ball over the plate to work in an 0-1, 0-2 count, and when they did that, they had the batter by the balls, and they understood that even though they're going out there, Jose Altuve isn't up every single time. Not everybody's swinging at the first pitch. In fact, it's more rare. But they know if they pepper strike one and they put it over the plate, whether it's over a corner or over the heart of the plate, they're going 0-1, and it's still hard to square up. And I think Luis Gil is finding that out. He's figuring that out. He's realizing that his stuff is that good, and that he doesn't need to dink it and dunk and nip corners. He just needs to go out there and throw goddamn strikes, because the ball coming out of his finger is good enough. In fact, it's very good.
Yeah, that's the first positive, 3 positives, 3 negatives from the series. The first one is Luis Gil out pitching Luis Castillo. It's just ridiculous. And 6 1/3, 1 hit. The 1 hit is questionable to begin with. Yeah. Not an easy play by any means for Volpe to make, but a play that should have been made.
And it's unfortunate too, because he made the play and then just lost the handle.
Right. And so it was ruled a hit originally, which I thought was questionable in the moment. Thought just because what ended up happening was the game was on. I'm in meetings. The game's on mute, which is literally above my monitor, and I'm watching it. So I see the play happen, and I probably just looked back down and just assumed that was an error, and then it was ruled a hit, because that really, to me, should have been an error. But it would have been interesting come the 7th inning when he's in there at 96 pitches. If he's got no hitter on the line, I don't think they let him go because he's at 96 pitches.
Yeah, definitely. They're not letting him go.
But at the same time, you're pulling a guy with no hits on the board.
It's been done 100 times before. They'll do it 101 times. They're not going to sacrifice a young guy in a situation where they believe, he's at risk for injury, once you get to that century mark, is what they believe. Now, I've heard a lot of debates recently about that too. But that's the mentality. So, whether that was an error or a hit, even if, like, I don't think he's finishing the game anyway. So kind of a moot point, but yeah, if it's funny because the defender a lot of times at home will get the benefit of the doubt, whether it's a hit or an error. But in this case, it was backwards because it was the first hit.
Well, that's why I wonder if the Yankees.
It wasn't the fourth inning though, you know.
But I wonder if Yankees coaches, because a lot of times things will get changed throughout the game, right? Like things are relooked at. It's like, oh, actually, that ball in the fourth inning was ruled as an error. Guess what? He's got a no-hitter going. But I'm wondering if coaches called up to the booth, like, hey guys, we're not going to leave him in this game, so just make that a hit. Just keep that a hit.
Volpe doesn't want that error. Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before, but I think what we settled on is if there's 3 outs left to go, you can push him and send him back out there to try and get the no-hitter. But anything more than that, they're not going to do it.
And he was, 9 outs, or 8 outs.
He had 8 outs left to go.
If you look at what he finished at, not to say that would have been the script that would have happened if there wasn't a hit, who knows? But yeah, he was far enough away where it probably wasn't going to be close.
Yeah, just really amazing. Every time he's out there, I'm like, God,
he's fun to watch too.
This guy's really good.
He's fun to watch, and I think everybody now is Luis Gil is must see. He's one of the must watch guys. You have to watch what's happening here because of the expectations. Like he's so far above, most people's expectations that it's like it's a mirage. Like you can't believe you're seeing it still continue. What is he 6-1 on the year now with sub 3 ERA? It's crazy.
Yeah, we said, who's going to fill Garrett Cole's shoes? It has to be Carlos Rodon. Maybe it can be Nestor Cortez. Maybe Stroman coming in here can fill. No, it's been Luis Gil.
Yeah, well, and Schmidt. Schmidt's been no slouch.
Sure.
None of them have been a slouch. I mean, collectively, they have filled his shoes and then some,
right?
Multiple times over. So, I mean, that's a huge. You look at what Garrett Cole's got to be ecstatic in the way that his guys have responded to him being down. Literally everybody.
He doesn't have a spot in the rotation.
He doesn't have a spot in the rotation. Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to sniff a day on the 5-man. So
I hope that the pitchers in the rotation right now are joking with him like that. Like, hey, I'm not giving my spot up. Not my spot. Sure. My spot's not going up.
I'm sure it's happening, and it's comical, but it's true. Also, it's like this is a very difficult decision. It's something it's not the most obvious thing in the world. And maybe some think Nestor is obvious, but I don't think it's obvious. It's not obvious. No. You could look at a few different ways, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, we do have a mailbag question about that, so don't want to go into that topic too much, even though we've been talking about it the last few episodes. But the second positive for me is Soto and Judge. They're right now on together, and not saying every time up, both of them are getting on base, but they're both on right now, and damn, that is fun.
Bold prediction number 4 that was on my book. I looked them up today just to refresh my brain again because I wanted to see where I was. I had the new murderers row, 3 guys at 40 plus home runs, and with Stanton this series as well, I think he's at 12. They're right there. It's not even just Judge and Soto, it's Stanton also. Like the power, he just continues to go as well, that's the unexpected for me. Like that was a bold prediction for a reason because I didn't have faith in the guy, staying or recovering or being more of a semblance of himself after what we saw last year. But he's right there, and yeah, it's fun because when you have Soto, who looks just absolutely locked in again, where you can't pitch to him, where he's hitting the ball opposite field just with authority. One of the broadcasters said something like his opposite field home run looked like a guy from the right side pulled the ball to left field. And it's true. That's exactly what it looks like because it's on a rope. Tough sledding for anybody coming in against the New York Yankees when you got those two and maybe that third guy going all together because there's not a lot of room for error.
Soto was 5 for 16 with 2 homers and 2 walks in this 4-game series. Judge was 5 for 12 with 2 homers and 5 walks. Like you said, both showing their opposite field power, hitting home runs the other way. Yeah. Soto's 2 home run game, both to left field, like to left field, not to left, said left of center. No, left field, just straight up left field home runs from a left-handed hitter at Yankee Stadium. And Judge, I saw the stat today, leading the league in extra base hits.
After just a goose of an April. I mean, there were some power numbers there that got sprinkled in, and with him, it just happened so fast. It happened so fast. He got it in such a bunch. Like this month has been ridiculous for him. as ridiculous as Soto's start was, like this month for Judge on the production side has been even more insane.
And I'm sure Soto's feeling some extra motivation this week going into San Diego.
Yeah.
So glad he's back.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Big Stein opening his fat
No,
mouth.
we'll talk about Big Stein. Well, he's Little Stein. He's Little Stein Jr. But Soto's going to be playing the Padres, so glad he's out of his funk before going out to San Diego.
I'm not even calling it a funk anymore. I'm not even calling it a funk. It was just a rest.
It was a minor glitch.
It's
in the
Matrix. It's a Chuck. It's a Chuck Norris meme, is what that is. Like, is Juan Soto in a slump? No, he's not.
He just felt bad for the pitchers.
Yeah, it's pity.
Anthony Volpe, you dropped this in. Anthony Volpe, 16-game hitting streak, and that's great. That's a positive.
Consistency, yeah, that's what that says.
But you said 16-game hit streak equals consistency.
Yes, I did.
And I'm still not ready to say Anthony Volpe is being consistent, because this is actually exactly what he has done for the past year and 2 months, which is peaks and valleys. He's got some peaks and then he's got some valleys. And if you look at his season this year, first 15 games of the season, a 382 batting average, and over 1,000 OPS, he was 21 for 55. Then the next 20 games of the season, a 163 batting average, a 485 OPS, and that time he was 13 for 50. And then these last 16 games, this 16-game hit streak, 328 batting average, 896, 23 for 70. So who's the real Volpe?
The real Volpe is there's only been one slump. It's been 2 hot streaks.
And so here's the thing. I don't expect him to hit 328 or 382 for the rest of the season, right?
Of course not.
All we're asking is that don't go into another 163 slump for a 20-game stretch. That's what we don't want to see.
Yeah, so the evolution of Anthony Volpe, the progression of Anthony Volpe is that next time when he slides, because he will, because that's what people do. Baseball players slump, and everybody, there's no one unless your name is Tony Gwynn is allowed to not slump. And you're looking for shorter slumps. You're looking for him to come out of it quicker. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for those adjustments. You know, when you look at what Soto did, it seems like Soto all of a sudden, like in the middle of a game, is like, oh yeah, whoops, I was not.
No, he did have to take extra batting practice to figure out something mechanically.
And he just figured it out himself. And I mean, this is a guy that's been in the league now for what, 6 years? He's 6 years, because he came up when he was in middle school. But so that's the progression of Volpe, is you want to see him able to make those adjustments. And again, like, this is a second year guy who is having tremendous success for a second year guy. How many guys that we have seen come out of the gate hot in their rookie year and then fucking disappear for the rest of their career? You just don't see them again. Give me a guy that has some struggles, sees some good things in the first year, and then progressively gets better. And that is still what we're seeing. You know, whether he went on a 20-game stretch here where it was not great, and he went 13 for 50 batting a $163. I just need that next one now. Let's make it 10 games and try to stay above the Mendoza line. Like, progress in that regard to me is what we're looking for.
So, but like, you're already ready to say consistency?
I am, because here's the other thing. I alluded to this last week. One of the biggest beneficiaries of having Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and I guess you could lump Stanton into this mix now too, because he's hitting the cover off the ball. One of the biggest beneficiaries is that guy that's hitting in front of them in the leadoff spot, and that's Anthony Volpe. He's going to get so many goddamn strikes. Every single pitcher is going to attack Anthony Volpe, the second-year guy. And you know why? Not to say that he's not a good hitter, but they would much more prefer to live with the chance of him getting on base, hitting a ball in the gap, walking, whatever, not walking, because that's exactly
no. Pitchers like, I'll get beat by Volpe. I'm not going to get beat by Soto and Judge, because that's obvious.
Well, they know that they have to go against those guys, so they have to attack Anthony Volpe. It's almost you don't have a choice,
right?
So if Anthony Volpe is able to harness in the power to stay within the strike zone and look for spots, he's going to have success. And maybe in the 16th game, he lost that a little bit, and just, it's like maybe maybe he was trying to be too aggressive. Judge was still slumping a little bit. Maybe he was trying to be too much at that point and trying to jump out there. He doesn't need to be. He just needs to wait for his pitch because it's going to come.
Obviously, slumps are going to happen. Guys are going to go in 0 for 10s, 2 for 20s. Like, I understand that happens. Yeah. Like, Soto just went through it. But we've only ever seen top of the mountain, bottom of the valley with Anthony Volpe. It's like there's never even been like, oh, he's just like, what do you mean?
Sample size. He's only been around for 1 year.
That's not a small sample size. A full season.
I know, but that's that we've only seen 1 year of this player.
So right, but so like
you can't say that 1 year of a player is the player. That's not the case.
So far, it's been the player. That's what I'm saying.
So far,
and so like I would like to see, like maybe, hit 270 for a couple weeks, and that's just your struggle, right? Like, where's the just like, let's not bottom out to just get back to the top. Like that in my mind is more consistency.
Miguel Andujar bottomed out.
Forgot about that name.
He was right there and probably should have won Rookie of the Year at that point. Like, come out of the gates, like, hitting doubles every other at bat, it seemed like, and then just fell off the planet. I know some injury played into that, but like that, you see that more often than not. You see guys who win Rookie of the Year and then fizzle out in their career. So,
well, why did he fizzle out though? And also, Ohtani won Rookie of the Year that year. I was like, I think that was Ohtani, and I just Googled it.
Yeah, I know. He said that, but you could have been.
We were butthurt about that at the time.
Yeah, you could have made. You had a solid argument for Andujar.
But Andujar was the starting third baseman in 2019 and dislocated his shoulder or whatever the hell it was on like the opening weekend.
Yes. So yes, there were injuries that played into it. I understand that, but that's a guy that just never was able to come back and regain the form that we thought we saw. So that's why my point is that I'm not taking 1 year as the gospel. I would prefer to see progression rather than all like a prodigy coming out of the gate and just having one good year.
I'm just surprised you're ready to slap the C word on him.
What's the C word?
Consistency.
Well, I was saying, my point was when you have a 16-game hitting streak.
Yeah, he's been consistent over those 16 games.
Yeah, no offers.
You know what? I'll be ready to say he's consistent when he reaches 57. Break Joe D's record, and then you get the C word from me.
When you get a hit every single game for 2 weeks, I call that consistency.
You can go 1 for 4 though, and you're only hitting 250.
Hey, you're on base. You're on base every single day by hit. Yeah. It's a good thing.
All right, the negatives from the series. Obviously, Clay Holmes, who blew the save on Monday. So the Yankees, I mean, very realistically could have won 3 or 4 in this series, and maybe even 4 if Boone makes some different decisions. But his second blown save of the season. I forgot he actually blew a save in Arizona. He wasn't charged with earned runs then because of
inherited
the ghost runner.
Oh,
no,
right.
It was the ghost runner.
Yep.
Because it was an extra innings in that first week,
which is bullshit. Who gets that run?
The ghosts. The ghosts of Christmas past. I don't know. It's an unearned run. No one is charged with the run.
It's kind of bullshit, though. I don't know why. Because he didn't put it there. I know he didn't, but
he doesn't deserve it on his ERA.
The game dictated why he's starting the inning knowing that person's there. It's not like anybody did something.
It goes on Manfred's ERA.
Yeah, seriously.
But he gets he got the blown save, even though he didn't get the. Don't you remember when the Yankees gave up to Pete Alonso a 2-run home run and he was the first batter of the inning and it was like a walk-off?
Yeah, it's chalk it up for another reason why I don't like it.
But
okay, so you're putting this as a negative, and it is, and to me it's more of like a goddamn that sucked negative type of thing, because I know he walked some guys in this and he had a hard time throwing the ball over the plate. I get that. But goddamn, there was a lot of soft contact. There were a lot of balls that could have been outs. Yeah. And this was it could have been a very moot point. You get dribblers, you got seeing eyeball,
but
you got all these
beat yourself. Don't beat yourself, and then a couple soft contacts don't beat you. This wasn't a 1-run lead he was trying to preserve.
I know. And that's when you're looking at that and you're saying like, okay, wait, what's happening? What's going on here? Why? They're getting way too excited in that dugout. You could tell that they have some life and they feel something. And when the momentum starts swinging in baseball, it's like you can almost see the future. I feel like that happens so often in this game.
What did we say last week are the worst type of meltdown to be on is the my pitcher can't throw strikes meltdown.
Yeah.
That's the most helpless feeling.
You add that on top of the Chase Headley exit velocity for hits negative times in an inning. Yeah. And all of a sudden you just got a bad recipe that's unfortunate. It's just a highly unfortunate, it is a highly unfortunate outing.
Do you know they're
I chalked that one up. I'm like, okay, that was just bullshit. And I just moved past that. Like that was, it's not like he was getting lit up. And I know he threw a lot of pitches too.
31 pitches.
It's just a lot of pitches too, which,
58% strikes. He walked 2 batters. You got a 3-run lead. You're throwing basically half of your pitches as balls and you're walking 2 guys.
Yeah.
It was a bad meltdown. He was due for some bad luck too, because his ERA was 0 on the season. Okay. We all know how that goes. Like, first of all, he should have blown the save on opening day if it wasn't for a great throw from right field and Juan Soto. So he had been lucky early in the season and he's been absolutely unhittable for a month. So he was due for some bad luck. That happens. That's baseball, Susan.
That is baseball, Susan. Due is a real thing. It happens. And, partly if you want to put if you want to look at what the negatives were from last week or from the last episode, it was that goddamn walk-in music. How about we change it? How about we change it? Immediately after it happened, this goes down. So I came up with a much better situation. And Ilya's not here right now, so I'm gonna wait for him because we've been concocting something.
You're gonna this is a big league tease?
Oh, huge tease. And it's good. It's the exact right move. He's got to really deserve it, to be honest. Like, it's that good. I think it's that good.
So what does he have to do to earn it?
I think we're fine. I think we could just do it and we'll figure that out. But it would be a goddamn shame if it was just a 1 year thing. Like this is something that has like legs for a long time.
Oh, you're saying if he leaves in free agency, like, you're wasting it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but we talked last week. We don't think the Yankees are giving him a long-term extension.
It depends. I think it depends on what the dollars are. But I agree. It would have to be a friendly contract. Especially after Mini Hal and what he's talking about. So, but yeah, it's kind of
Mini Hal. He's just Hal. He's Mini George.
Mini Stein. I mean, but yeah, no, it's just got a big feeling to it. That's all.
So next episode, you're going to tell us, or you might just drop it on us whenever you feel the timing is right for Clay Holmes. What if he just comes out next time at Yankee Stadium with the song? And you're like, shit, how did he figure this out?
Well, I mean, I know he got the save tonight, so he's back on the good side of things. I think that had to happen, or today. That had to happen. Or it wasn't a save. He came in. He didn't get the save.
No, that's not a save.
But he pitched. He needs to. I need to see him. I can't in good conscience give this up without seeing him dominate in one more save. So if he saves a game this weekend, then we'll roll it out on Monday.
Oh, you know what? That actually was a save because
I thought I saw a save in the book, but it's a 5.
Because he pitched, he got 4 outs, and he must have come in when he came in. No, wait a second.
Either way, it was a 5-run game. Didn't count in my head.
He got the save in that situation.
I
think it's because if the tying run is in the hole when you enter the game and you pitch more than 3 outs, I believe, then you get the save. Something weird like that.
Yeah, there's a laundry list of criteria that something like that. Yes.
One other play from that 9th inning on Monday was the soft chopper to Glaber. Yeah. And the ump the ump was in a bad spot, right? But eat the ball, Glaber. You're never going to get him out there. He threw the ball into the dugout. Eat the ball. That you got to be heads up there. You got to understand the ump's in my way. This is a slow chopper. There's runners ahead on base. Just don't throw the ball away.
Yeah, easier said than done. I understand that, but just make it better. Just make a throw.
He was going to be safe no matter what.
Yes, but in the moment when you're running after that ball in the way that he was attacking that ball, it wasn't an easy play.
No, I'm not saying it was an easy play. That's why
it's not something you're thinking about putting in your pocket. You're like, get to the ball, get him. You're not in real time. You're in your head. He's not safe.
You're not. Glaber's not saying that. That's the problem. A good second baseman is saying that. A heads up infielder says that. That's my problem.
Or they just hit the glove and then he's safe and it's nothing hurt.
That's my problem with Gleyber. It's not that he sucks. It's not that he has no talent. It's that mentally he doesn't do the right thing. He doesn't make the right decisions in key moments.
Was hitting a 3-run home run the right decision in a key moment?
Actually, it probably made things worse.
Well, this because Boone is a mimbo.
Yeah. The second negative is, who's Clayton Andrews, this 5'6", 150-pound pitcher? Why is he pitching in a 1-run game? What is going on here? Who is this?
I turned the TV on. Well, I had the TV on, and then I looked up. I forget. I walked out of the room or something, and I came back in. And I was like, "Wait, what's going on here?" Like, first of all, that guy looks really small.
Did they just get him from the stands?
I was like, "Is that Justice Sheffield? Is that?" It was weird. It was like, this is like a bizarro Justice Sheffield, but even smaller.
Way smaller. Justice Sheffield's like 5'10".
And then we were playing the Mariners too, which was really fucking confusing me for a second. And I was like, "Oh yeah. I forgot that Clayton Andrews was up for a minute."
So I
forgot that we even acquired him when they did, because he was released at one point, and then
he was released in early. So he was
good for him making it to the major leagues. 5'6" on the mound, for real. Like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, how is this guy is a professional pitcher? Like, he must have smoke and fucking mirrors. Because he doesn't throw hard. His breaking stuff doesn't look that good.
He's left-handed.
He's left-handed, right? Yeah, there you go.
They acquired him from the Brewers.
Totally screwed up not making Kemp left-handed.
There's still time. They acquired him from the Brewers before the season. Then he was DFA'd in early April, cleared waivers, and added back to the roster on April 8th. Called up, then sent right back down.
Yeah.
If Billy Wagner started throwing left-handed when he broke his arm. So
he wasn't 5'6", was he? Oh yeah. That's what you're saying.
He was a natural
ambidextrous.
He was also short though.
He wasn't 5'6", but yes.
No, he's probably 6 feet.
I think he was like 5'10".
5'10", yeah.
Yeah.
But to not have your natural, like, Billy Wagner
5'6" looks really small on the
because
mound.
It is really small.
It looks like because the mound is raised, it looks like he's on a stool.
Altuve.
It's terrible.
Altuve
being pitching,
but like Altuve being as good of a player as he is amazing. So that
but it's way more. You see it way more often for position players, especially like middle infielders.
Stroman's small.
He's not that small. But yes,
no one's that small. To be clear, no one's that small.
That's what I mean. Yeah, except Altuve. Yeah. Or like David Eckstein.
Also probably like 5'10".
No, I think he was like 5'7", 5'6", 5'7".
All right, let's so we don't have the guys here tonight, so
yeah. But yeah,
David Eckstein was a World Series MVP, I believe. 5'7", listed at 5'7" for David Eckstein.
I said 5'7". I said 5'6", 5'7".
So the situation, just in case anyone needs to get up to speed, was that Clayton Andrews was warming when the Yankees were down 4-0. Mm-hmm. Gleyber then hits the 3-run home run to make it a 4-3 game. Mm-hmm. And Boone still goes,
which was a big spot. I mean, that was back in the game.
Momentum on your side.
That's his second huge hit in 2 weeks that he's come back with. Yeah. So, he's picking his spots at least.
And so then what Boone is doing is, because Clayton Andrews was already warming up and he had resigned himself to the fact that this is going to be a 4-0 game, I'm going to use this guy. He didn't pivot. After the game, to Boone's credit, he said, I liked the lane for him, simple as that, versus a left-handed batter Raleigh, and then to turn Cal Raleigh. All week, this has been messing me up. Raleigh and Raleigh, just basically the same name, different spelling. They could turn him around to the right side. But then Boone went to Nick Birdie, so he was asked, would you have gone to Birdie instead? He said, no, actually, I should have gone to Caleb Ferguson there. In hindsight, I probably should have done that. So he did admit it was right, and it is wrong. There's a script. He was playing by the script, but then what happens in front of you? You're back in the game. It's a one-run game.
Yes.
You don't go to the guy you just called up, who you're gonna send down after the game in a one.
It's like having Tonkin in a situation where you need to have your
save
closer.
spot, extra innings, tie game, or whatever the hell it was.
Yes. So this is twice now he's mismanaged that bullpen, and it goes back to one of the frustrations we used to have with Girardi with the binder. Although there's a chapter in the binder for adjustments if the game situation changes, on a dime. You can go to that. There's a reference page. It's like choose your own adventure. It's got that page in it.
And I saw
you can't read.
I forget who said this, but or where I saw this, but it's like, everything happened so fast, so Boone didn't have time to adjust. Like,
that's bullshit.
Couldn't get a pitcher warmed up in time. When Glaber's up with 2 guys on, hey Caleb, start doing windmills, something. Yeah. You might come in the game here.
Yeah, right. No confidence in your guy to go long yard at that point. But no, you have plenty of time. Trust me with this. We've been doing countdowns and how long it takes for a guy after the final out to come into the game. At what point does the gate open for the closer? At what point does the gate open? How much time is between the last out of the 8th inning and when the gate opens for the closer? Because that's important information for me to know.
For the songs.
For the song.
Well, when it's
I had Ilya scouring to see if we could find and clock how long it takes from the final out, because
to make sure the drop,
someone's got to be ready.
Drop or whatever you got going on.
Someone's got to be ready because there's a little bit of a build up in my song, and
there's a 6-minute guitar solo. You got to sit through that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I got a minute 51. A minute 51 is what I need.
That's a long time.
That's not that long.
Usually they play like 45 seconds of a song.
From last out. It's going to start a little earlier. It's going to get.
Oh, that is early because normally it's not last out. Normally it's like, when it's whatever, probably halfway through the inning.
We're setting it up, baby. We're setting it up. We're going to get big chills. The stadium is going to sing.
Why don't you just start it in the second inning?
We're going to get the goddamn stadium
in the second inning.
We're going to get the goddamn stadium all singing together. It's going to be amazing.
Okay. The last negative from the series, and I don't like doing this, but I felt it was noticeable. Todd Frazier, man.
You're not on Twitter anymore, so I don't know if you know what people are saying.
I don't know what people are saying. Enlighten me. Do they like him? Do they hate him?
I think Todd Frazier gets an ultimate pass forever because
he's from Toms River?
He's from Toms River, New Jersey.
Tell me one insightful thing.
And he sounds like he's from Toms River, New Jersey.
Yep.
Unless your name is Frank Marco and you think he's from New York, which he's not. He's from Jersey.
Tell me one insightful thing he said in this 4-game series.
I wasn't listening to a lot of the things.
No, he said nothing. He said
he
didn't criticize. All he did was say, "This guy's awesome."
Guy. He's a player's guy. That's what he is.
Offered,
he's a rah-rah guy. He's like Nick Swisher. You think Nick Swisher's ever going to say anything negative about anybody?
He offered absolutely nothing. Michael Kay might as well have been doing the game by himself. He was there with a fan. He was talking to a fan, being like, "This guy's awesome." Juan Soto, man, Juan Soto's awesome. Man, Aaron Judge, man, Aaron Judge is so awesome.
This guy,
man, that throw, man. Wow, man, this guy, I tell you, man, this guy, man, this guy, man. Holy shit, was he boring?
I don't mind it occasionally when you get a guy in there who just gives you because this is what he's there for. He's there for the experience, for the stories, for like the things about potentially what it's like to be a big leaguer, that type of thing. And he's got the lingo. He talks like the people. So, and everybody loves him because of exactly that. He's a local guy, and he's always been just like a dude, and people like him for that. And that's why he's likable. That's why he's in the booth.
He is likable.
He doesn't have a lot of commentary. He doesn't have a lot of X's.
Well, guess what? When you're the color commentator in a baseball game, you got to come with some commentary. I don't dislike Todd Frazier. I think he is a likable guy. I think he is a personable guy. He's not equipped at this point. Could he get better? Of course he could get better. Right now, he's not equipped enough as a color commentator to carry a 9-inning game, a 4-game series. He's not. That was bad. That was really bad.
Yeah.
Put him in there with someone else. Give him an easy runway into it. Put him as the third guy, so it's not all on him. Every time Michael Kay takes a break, Frazier feels the need to jump in, and he just says word vomit nothing.
there's a lot of, we know how the Yes Network does this. They throw a bunch of guys at it. So tough. It was a tough weekend. It was a tough weekend. John Sterling also left a week, whatever. I don't know why I keep saying weekend. John Sterling left some openings in some holes in some broadcasts as well. So, there were some, color commentary wasn't at its peak for the series.
Meredith did one of the radio broadcasts.
Meredith is very good.
Put Meredith in the booth.
Meredith and Susan have a thing.
Yes,
they're fun to watch. I would watch a video series of them traveling and like going around to eat at restaurants of visiting parks.
But Meredith has been around the team now for however many years. She knows she has insights not only into clubhouse talking to guys. I know she's not going to be overly critical because she has to talk to these guys in the clubhouse every day and on the sidelines. But she's at least going to offer some color commentary and not just be like, "Wow, that was a really cool home run I just saw."
Yeah.
Thanks, Todd. Oh boy. Well, glad I got that off my chest. Factor meals are here to save
Todd
the day
Frazier would
for
kick
you.
your ass.
Really?
I'm just saying.
And you know what? I'm sure he would also agree that he said nothing in that 4-game series.
He's a big dumb animal. Just let him be.
As I was saying,
He's
Factor
fine.
meals are here to save the day for you. I ate a Factor meal for dinner tonight, Parmesan crusted chicken with broccoli on the side. It was absolutely delicious. The best part, it only took me 2 minutes to make. Listen, if you're struggling to maintain a healthy diet for whatever reason, busy schedule, no time to cook, kids cause a tornado in your house like at my house, or just food cravings, Factor meals can be a seriously big help to you. Factor meals deliver high quality, fully prepared meals to you. All you have to do is heat them up in the microwave and boom, you're eating amazing food. The process is very easy. You go on their website and choose from over 35 delicious meals each week. You can also customize your deliveries with 60 different add-ons. Highly skilled chefs prepare your food and it is delivered to your door. The food is always fresh and never frozen. Like I said, it takes 2 minutes to heat up and then there's no mess, nothing to clean up. It just goes right in the trash. It's the best. Tonight, I was able to heat up the Factor meal in a few minutes while we were feeding Harrison and Lucy, and it was a lifesaver, and it has been for many, many weeknights. Factor is no prep, no mess, just delicious foods. Head to factormeals.com/Bronx50 and use code Bronx50 to get 50% off. That is half off at factormeals.com/Bronx50. We made it this far and didn't even talk about Clarke Schmidt tipping his pitches. I didn't want to put that as one of the negatives because I forgot to put it there.
Well,
but
it's not a negative either. I don't think it's a negative. You know why?
Why?
Because he made the adjustment.
And if you're tipping pitches, you only give up 2 runs. That's pretty good.
And I'm pretty sure that Jeff Nelson said something about that in his last start. He actually noticed something, and I forget exactly what he said, but I remember him saying something about one of the motions that he was doing. But whatever it was, whatever that Clarke Schmidt felt that he realized he was doing, he was able to make the adjustment and go out there and fix it, get through 5. That's one of those starts where he doesn't have his best stuff, whether it's through tipping or for whatever reason, but he still grinded through 5. Whereas we're looking at him early in the season last year, we're like, that's his normal start is 5 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, couple walks.
Right. Yeah, that last year this would have been an amazing start for him.
That's a normal line for him last year. Yeah.
No, not
for
normal.
Real.
Good start for him last year. 5 innings, 2 runs, good start for him last year.
Yeah. So again, this is a case of inflated expectations or just different expectations.
No, it's not inflated expectations.
Not inflated. Hold on, not inflated. That wasn't the right word, but just like adjusted expectations now that we've seen him do the thing.
It's not even like I was disappointed in the start. Like, you're not going to have your best stuff every time you go out there. Sometimes you have to grind through. And so sometimes, even if you're not tipping pitches, you have to grind 100 pitches and give up 2 runs in 5 innings. That's actually, I appreciate that because you're keeping your team in the game. You're giving your team a chance to win when you don't have your best stuff. But after the game, Clarke Schmidt said he believed the Mariners were picking up his pitches and relaying them from second base, including on the Dylan Moore home run. He said that it's part of baseball and fair game. Quote, if I'm giving away the pitches, it's credit to them for being able to find it. He didn't say specifically what he was doing to tip the pitches, but he said he watched video between innings and believes he fixed the issue. So generally, when a guy is tipping pitches when he's in the stretch, which he would have been with a runner on second base, A lot of the times it's hand placement or
Yes, with usually where the glove is, where he's setting, where
yeah.
he's or where he's breaking his hands from the glove. But yeah, usually has to do with the glove.
And so, because if you're gripping for a curveball versus a fastball, you're going to be just doing things differently. So if your glove comes down to your belt on a fastball and then it stops at your stomach on a curveball, that's very easy to pick up and relay. Although you wouldn't need the runner on second to relay that, which is why I was thinking more about it. And I'm wondering if the runner on second could see into the glove, if perhaps his glove was open to a point where the grip was visible,
That's
because
possible.
he throws a knuckle curve, so it's very obvious if he's gripping a knuckle curve from second base.
But also the where the glove placement is. Sometimes I think it's just obviously a different angle from
To see
second
it
base.
better,
Yeah, you can see where the glove is. Whereas if you're looking at it from the batter's eye, not the batter's eye in center field, the batter's eye, it's not as obvious. It's not as obvious as to where it is, just because the depth perception. And like at the end of the day, like the guy gave up 2 runs, and it was 1 home run. So
well,
it was
and so did you saw the
like there wasn't a lot hurt. My point is there wasn't a lot hurt. He limited damage in a situation that could have been much worse if he truly is telling what his pitches are. So couldn't have been that obvious is what I mean.
And so the pitch came on the Moore home run. It was a cutter on the outside part of the plate. It was a good pitch. It wasn't a great pitch. It was pretty much belt high, and he pulled it to left field. So maybe he did just sit all over it, like pulling an outside cutter. Yeah. Maybe he was sitting all over it. But like I was reading articles, New York Post, NJ.com. They were talking about like this was the perfect of all pitches, and the guy still took him yard. This was a belt high cutter on the outside corner of the plate. We're not talking like he darted low and away knees with an unhittable pitch. Like it was a good pitch. It wasn't the best pitch. I've seen guys hit home runs on much filthier pitches.
Yeah, but a cutter on the outside corner, tailing away is not an easy pitch to hit, especially.
I do believe he was tipping. I do believe
pulling the ball. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that that's exactly what was happening. I love the fact Luis Severino still hasn't figured out what he was tipping from, tipping as a New York Yankee, and Clarke Schmidt figured out in the middle of the game. So like huge credit to Clarke Schmidt for being able to make an adjustment and fix that. And hopefully it's not something that is slipping in his mechanics where he's just unconsciously making that mistake, and he's able to keep the fix.
And I was looking at whiff rates by start, by pitch. I put the chart in our notes here. Nothing really stood out to me like a crazy amount. He in the start against Seattle, he got a couple whiffs on his sinker, nothing on his change. Well, he doesn't start really a changeup. Slider, 21% whiffs, 7% on his curve, 22% on his cutter. So his curveball was obviously down, but that's been the case in other starts earlier in the year. If you compare the whiff percentage to his start against Minnesota, which was 30% on his curveball, that's a big difference. But like, go back to his Oakland
cutter's
start.
The second highest whiff percentage on the season, going back to the first start.
So it literally could have been
that was the pitch that was hit out of the park.
But it literally could have been only a situation when there was a runner on second base, which was only, I forget how many instances it was, but
yeah, and that's if that's the case, and you got runners on, and specifically right there, that's not going to kill you, even if you're doing it in other games, because how many times do you have a runner on second base as far as like percentage of situations that you're pitching? So, but yeah, he cleaned it up again. Like he's able to make an adjustment. I love the fact that he's able to go back, identify what it is, and then fix it right then and there. It's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a testament to the pitching staff as well, because clearly they are the coaching staff on the pitching side. They're obviously able to identify things and help their guy. That's their job.
Canley returned on Wednesday, pitched a clean inning, 15 pitches. Much needed help in the bullpen.
Yeah, no doubt. So that's a huge weapon to have back, and not even just a weapon, but a trusted guy that Boone will certainly use, at the end of the game. So, because the bullpen's been very good. And when you have a guy, and here's the other thing is like, because of his splits, because of the changeup splits against left-handed pitching, you can use him in those lefty situations that you would use, Turd Ferguson or Gonzalez. You can use Tommy Kahnle, a right-handed thrower, because he's got those reverse splits with the changeup.
Yeah, I wonder if he had been activated for Tuesday in the game where we ended up using.
Well, no, because it was a 4-0 game,
right?
Even after Glaber's home run, it was a 4-0 game.
It can't ramp up Tommy Kahnle too fast because then he could get injured.
Well,
fair.
That one's kind of fair. I don't want them doing that to Tommy Kahnle right now. Let's let him get acclimated a little bit deeper. But yeah.
So going back to Todd Frazier, that was Tommy Kahnle, Todd Frazier, David Robertson came over in that 2017 trade deadline.
That is true.
They all came over together. Obviously, Kahnle left in free agency and then came back again. But
yeah, he right. Yeah, he came over in that first one. I was thinking that was his second time there, wasn't it? Wasn't Kahnle?
This is the second time with the Yankees. Kahnle came over.
He was in the minor league organization though before that, was he not?
I don't think so.
I thought there was something with that. Keep talking. I'm going to look this up.
I will keep talking. I was also looking at the NL West, and I feel like the division is just underperforming relative to what we all thought they were going to. And now I know the Astros are not having a good season, and we thought they would have a good season. But Texas, I think, is below 500. The Mariners are leading the NL West, and they're only a couple games over 500. But they have a negative run differential. Everyone in the NL West has a negative run differential. Whereas the Central, which we thought was going to be the worst division in the league, everybody except the White Sox, who we just saw and are absolute garbage, has a positive run differential. So the Central seemingly is better in the American League than we thought, whereas the West is worse. He was Kahnle? You got a smirk on your face?
Tommy Kahnle was drafted by the New York Yankees in the 5th round of the 2010 MLB Junior Amateur Draft.
And how long did he stay in the system before? Like, what happened? How did he?
Now you're asking questions that I don't have answers to.
Well, what are you looking for? Are you on his baseball reference page? Because he'll have all of his transactions.
Well, I'm not there yet. So, you know how I feel about Baseball Reference. It's an Excel spreadsheet on a website. I'm trying to figure it out.
And you're on your phone.
And I am on my phone.
Yankees have
I found that fast, so that's all I needed.
The Yankees have a plus 84 run differential at this point in the season. That's best in the American League, second behind Philly in Major League Baseball. Philly just doesn't lose.
Yeah, they're playing out of their minds right now. So in 2010, he was in Staten Island. He was in Staten Island through some games there, and then all of a sudden he's in Brewster, Bourne, Charleston, Trenton. In 2012, he was in Tampa. So he was there. He went to Colorado in 2014. So I don't know what the transaction was though, but he was in the Yankees organization for
Colorado and then Chicago and then Yankees and then Dodgers back to Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees are hitting the road for the West Coast. Maybe you're going to sunny San Diego for the series and looking for tickets. If you are, then use the Game Time app. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, meaning buying tickets to a baseball game on Game Time is faster and easier than ever. The Game Time app has so many great features. My personal favorites are the flash deals, so you can see what sections the best deals are in. All-in pricing, so you can see what the price is going to be. No surprise fees at checkout. And the seat view, real pictures from inside the stadium. If you're going to a new park like San Diego, they might still call it Petco. It'll always be Petco to me. I'm just one of these guys. The original name of the baseball stadium, that's what I'm sticking with.
That's it forever.
That's it forever. Jacobs Field. Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to sporting events, but you can also find tickets to concerts, comedy shows, theater, and much more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same row and same section for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BRONX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, create an account, redeem code BRONX, BRONX, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
December 12th, 2013, drafted by the Colorado Rockies from the New York Yankees in the
Rule 5?
Yeah. Duh. Should have known that.
Okay.
I knew there was some history. So third stint.
The Padres are 27-26, second place in the NL West. They've got a positive 16 run differential. The pitching matchups: Carlos Rodon versus Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is having a great season, 2.08 ERA in 9 games. Saturday, Stroman versus Dylan Cease. He's also having a good season, 3.05 ERA in 10 games. And then Schmidt versus Joe Musgrove on Sunday. Musgrove not having a good season. He's got north of a 6 ERA in 9 games, which is surprising because Musgrove was one of the most effective pitchers in the National League for the past 3 years. I know he had some injury stuff, but not going to see Michael King, who just had a good start, but it's been very up and down. 10 games, 4.28 ERA. He's either been like literally you go down his game logs, it's either like 7 innings, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, or 4 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs.
Yeah. As we all predicted, not sustainable. Thank God he was traded because Luis Gil wouldn't have had a rotation spot.
Yeah, but you know what? Wouldn't Michael King have looked nice to fill that Johnny Loizaga bullpen spot?
Yeah, but that's not what they were going to use him for.
I know, but he would have slotted back in there.
Well, looking at what he's doing, it's still probably the most effective where that he's been. Like he's the guy could be a dominant reliever. But I understand why he's doing what he's doing. I wish him good luck. Not against the Yankees, but yeah, Yankees have a gauntlet to go with Darvish. And I forgot, before we were looking ahead, I forgot that Dylan Cease had gotten traded to the Padres in that move. That's a good move. So this is a big series, homecoming, really, if you will.
You think there'll be for Trent Grisham? For Trent Grisham, I have no concept of Padre fans, right? Like Yankees played them in the World Series in 1998. That was great.
Aren't they the ones that did that really like cringy, terrible song? Bunch of old white dudes like singing with a banner, walking across like they did some stupid song about the Padres. I don't know. Look it up. Well, it's like it's hard to watch. It's hard, and I remember it getting circulated and just people just ripping on them, which was 100% validated. It was a terrible display of fandom.
Okay.
In fact, they should be embarrassed and never watch baseball again in their lives.
Do you think there'll be like a negative reaction for Soto?
I mean, he was traded away.
There's been things written though that he didn't enjoy his time in San Diego. Yeah. I don't think he was ever quoted as saying like, I disliked San Diego. I didn't like my time there. But there's been a lot of articles written about how he did not like his time.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of shit that was happening in San Diego as well with Tatis Jr. and the suspension. Like it wasn't like a kumbaya. They underperformed quite a bit as well. Like that was a team that was supposed to be, they're chock full of all-stars, with Manny Machado and Tatis Jr. and
Bogarts. They gave Bogarts a 12-year contract or whatever.
They 1,000% underperformed based on what they were paying for those guys. And San Diego is one of those franchises that just came out of absolutely nowhere and started throwing a whole bunch of money at people.
Didn't they file for bankruptcy last year? Wasn't that a thing?
Something. Yeah, I think so. That's right. That's why we're like, he's getting traded. There's no, you just lost all your goddamn leverage. But yeah, they, I don't know. I don't think it's I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. But the other thing I've heard, I forget where the heck I just heard this. I've been listening to Sirius MLB channel a lot recently, so maybe I heard it on there. But that Soto has turned down multiple contracts. I know, he's turned down even with San Diego as well.
Well, we do have a mailbag question coming up about Hal Steinbrenner's comment, so we'll talk about the soda thing. But first, whether you're a world-class athlete or podcaster like us, we understand the importance of mental and physical well-being and proper recovery for top-notch performance. That's why we are excited Unified Healing is sponsoring this episode of the Bronx Pinstripe Show. Unified Healing is a new and innovative global network of wellness centers powered by Energy Enhancement System, or EE System. If you haven't heard of EE System yet, then you want to listen up. This technology promotes wellness, deep relaxation, purification, and rejuvenation. If you are in the New York City area or hundreds of other locations around the globe, access to a center is easy and affordable. If you're interested in experiencing the EE System technology for yourself, go to unifiedhealing.com/Bronx to learn more. Find a center near you. That is spelled UNIFYD. healing.com/Bronx. No material or testimonial on the Unified Healing website are intended to be viewed as medical advice or a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regimen, including EE System. mailbags. Submit yours at info@bronxpinstripes.com. We only have 2 this week. You guys are slacking.
Yeah, we had a few others. Some of them were like not fully formed thoughts on questions and things like that. So, bring the questions, bring your complaints, bring your accolades. It's fine. The mailbags can be pointing out something. They don't need to be questions necessarily. Let's just have a good discussion and get involved. So info@bronxpinstripes.com. Guys, I'm checking the goddamn email.
Yes.
All right. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. I'm checking the email. Checking the email. So let's get some good stuff in there.
If you guys want to get your mail, but just like subject the.
You know how many fucking emails I have?
I was gonna say
email address. I have like 19 email addresses.
Call out Scott. Hey, dumbass, read this or something like that. Get his attention.
Yeah.
Evan says, "Yay, return of mailbags. Here's a crazy idea for the rotation if things are still going as they are now when Cole returns. Nestor is a bullpen arm away and a starter at home. His home road splits are stark, and this ensures we're not screwing with Hill and Schmidt's progress this year. Go Yankees." Evan was cooking on this one.
Yeah, so we did talk about this last episode, but it with Hill throwing as he did again, backing up another one, and frankly Nestor going out there with
grinded. Not his best
stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Not his best stuff, but he figured it out. They kept, he was hitting the gun a little hot. So I don't know if he, drank some coffee beforehand or what, but he was feeling good, throwing it hard and missing locations a little bit more
and wild.
But
don't be
yeah, again, I can't. It's when you're looking at what's happening right now, when you're looking at the success that Luis Hill is having right now, I
cannot take him out of this rotation.
You cannot take him out of the rotation. And whether it's if the Yankees truly believe that they need to limit his innings or number of pitches that he's throwing at some point, you can't do it right now. You can't do it right now because the man is throwing as well as he's ever thrown in his entire career. Obviously, he's a rookie. He's outperforming every expectation. Even one of my bold predictions was that he's going to keep a spot. I didn't think he was going to be doing, this.
You didn't think he was going to be their best starting pitcher, one of the best pitchers in the American League?
I had a lot of confidence in Luis Hill and his stuff. I've always thought his stuff is there, and he's got the ability to be a very successful major league pitcher. It was the big question mark coming into the season for me was his control. Can he control the fastball? And I think what we're seeing, again, like I said at the top of this episode, this is a man that has gained confidence in throwing the fastball over the plate and not having to be perfect with it because it's that good. It's so good that he just needs to be confident and throw it where he wants to, part of the game plan, and doesn't need to, and he doesn't need to be perfect with it. It's that good. You don't need to be perfect. When you don't need to be perfect with your fastball, man, you have a lot of, good legroom and does that foster more confidence. So yeah, I don't see how you could possibly remove him. Maybe at some point he hits a slide, and there's opportunities to put away a few innings here and there later in the season. I don't know, but you can't mess with something that's going as well as he is right now.
Does he not qualify right now for the innings? Because I'm looking at the leaderboards. I was trying to look up where he ranks in some pitcher stats, but he's not on here. So he must not qualify for the innings minimum right now.
Why? He's gone deep into a significant amount of his starts.
Yeah, I'm aware, but he's not. What do you want me to tell you?
He ain't on the list. Someone screwed up.
I'm changing this to 40 because I know he's pitched over 40. Yeah, Luis Hill. When I change it to 40, he's on here. He's at 49 innings, so I'm wondering if 50 innings is the cutoff. 50 is the qualifying.
Right now. All right.
He's got 2.39 ERA, which ranks 8th in the American League. His expected ERA, since we love these expected stats now, he also ranks 8th in the league. His WAR is, he's because he doesn't have the innings, so he's further down on the list, 16th in WAR.
Who has the most innings? Like, what's the top?
I just
tier?
X'd out of it.
Do you remember what it was? Where were they?
Tanner Houck was like leading a lot of stuff. Most innings is Tanner Houck at 65 actually. Oh,
he's at 65, and then the threshold is 50. That's weird.
Guess who leads the American League in innings pitched? He is a New York Yankee.
Oh, it's Carlos.
No, it's not Carlos Rodon. He pitched like 4 innings his first 3 sets.
Nestor.
I think it's. Oh, I know. He has 11 starts. It's the most starts.
There you go.
And then Seth Lugo, Tanner Houck, Logan Gilbert, Tyler Anderson, all around 64, 65 innings. And the minimum qualified must be 50 because
there's a lot of names at the top of that list that you would not expect to be at the top of that list.
No. But getting back to Evan's question, that's too crazy. They're not going to have Nestor in the bullpen for road starts, and then how would that even work? I mean, it's just like
it doesn't work that way.
Then he's an opener, so it's either going to be a 6-man rotation, which I think is a long shot. I wouldn't be opposed to it to see how it goes, or it's just going to be Nestor in the bullpen because you can't take Hal Schmidt out of the rotation with how they've been pitching, and Rodon and Stroman are not going anywhere because of their contracts. So
a 6-man rotation just screws everything up. You can't do it. They're not going to do it.
I agree. They're not. I agree.
And that's also like you're now. I know everything's going.
You're kicking all you're doing is kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, and everything's going well. It's the failure to make a decision. All right, which is like
I don't want to make a decision yet, so we're gonna just
yeah. You got to make hard decisions as the manager of the New York Yankees. You got to make hard decisions.
It's not the manager's decision.
Well, it's Brad.
That is not Aaron Boone's call. Trust me,
it's Brad Ausmus's decision.
It ain't Aaron Boone's call. All right, John says, "Hey guys, seriously, why does Hal open his mouth about the payroll? I feel like every time he cries poor, it backfires and fans get mad at the New York Yankees saying they can't manage a certain level of payroll. This is all just groundwork for cutting payroll going into 2025. It would be one thing if the team had won multiple championships over the past 15 years, but they haven't even won the pennant." Obviously, John here is referring to Hal Steinbrenner at the owners' meetings this week on Wednesday in New York City. Quote, "I'm going to be honest. Payrolls at the levels we're at right now are simply not sustainable for us financially. It wouldn't be sustainable for the vast majority of ownership groups given the luxury tax we have to pay. We've got a considerable amount of money coming off next offseason. We didn't have a considerable amount of money coming off last offseason, which is why we're at where we're at. I've been a broken record on this topic. I don't believe I should have a $300 million payroll to win a championship. I believe I need a good mix of veterans who are going to make a lot more money, but also we've got a lot of money into our player development system in the last 5 to 10 years. And in my opinion, we have one of the better ones in baseball now."
Well, look, there's a couple things here. Okay. So before everybody gets up into arms about what Hal Steinbrenner has said, kind of feels like a little bit of a flip-flop too. Feels like posturing in some areas as well. Maybe he's talking to Major League Baseball in the regards of like, hey, let's do something about the luxury tax. Maybe it needs to be adjusted in some capacity. Maybe I don't know. He's posturing a little bit. There's going to be some negotiations that are happening, but he's not wrong in the sense that there's money that's going to be coming off the books. And he's also not wrong in the sense that at 2 premier positions right now, looking into next year, if all goes well, let's just assume that it does for this conversation, you have shortstop, controlled money, not have to pay the guy for a long time. And then center field, also similar situation with Dominguez. Again, assuming everything, knock on wood, goes well, and he is the guy that we think he is, he's going to be roaming center field, for a long time. That where when he needs to get paid a lot of the bigger contracts that Stanton specifically.
No, he'll still be on the books. Stanton will still be on the books.
Not at that point. Not when arbitration is up. But
Stanton's going to be on the books longer than anyone.
So he's not wrong in that sense. They can get away. They have to pay Soto, obviously. Judge already paid. Stanton is already paid. When you're looking around, there are bargains on the field to be had that don't take away from the talent.
Okay, but that's not the headline from his.
No, I'm just trying to make people feel better about this. They don't need to go out and spend on a Verdugo necessarily. They don't need to go out and spend like they already paid Cole. They already paid Rodon. Like there's contracts.
They're going to have to give Cole an extension.
They're going to have to give Cole some money, which they will.
I know.
So that's why I don't believe a lot of this too, because like Cole is going to get more money and
Soto's going to get a blank check, and Judge
would be
just
stupid.
Signed.
It's a bad business decision to not sign Soto because they're going to make the money back in other ways. Like, yes, payroll is not the way that they're losing money on payroll and how expensive it is doesn't necessarily say.
It does, but no, this is where it's bullshit. Line. But this is where it's bullshit. Hal Steinbrenner is saying it's not sustainable. Sorry,
it is sustainable when the guy, his name is Juan Soto.
But when you're the Yankees,
yeah,
the reason you can spend 330,
it's not sustainable for the San Diego Padres,
right? For the New York Yankees, it's sustainable.
Yes.
Is it what you want to do? No, I understand that, but it is sustainable. You could do it and still make boatloads of cash.
And put yourself in a chip because you do that and you're putting together also a good baseball team. You have an opportunity now to make a run at the true golden goose, a World Series championship, because you do that and nobody gives a rat's ass how much money was spent in that given year because it's all coming back tenfold. Maybe not tenfold, but a lot fold.
Isn't half, 1.5 fold,
like 3/4 of a fold.
I don't believe I should have a $300 million payroll to win a championship. Isn't that like a direct shot at Isn't that like looking Brian Cashman in the eyes? Like, hey, dummy, you spent too much money on certain players. What are you doing here?
Yeah, but where are the bad contracts besides Stanton that actually is a bargain right now if you look at what the market is?
I'm not saying
there's bad.
I'm not saying
that's the thing. Like he's talking about things that already exist, though. I'm talking about him. I'm not talking about you.
But really, I mean, what he could be saying is, why are we in a position where we have to spend this much money, and still we're not? It's not like we're the best. It's not like we're spending $300 million and we've won the division for the last 10 years and we've gone to the World Series 5 times, right? They're spending all this money. They missed the playoffs last year. They've underachieved basically 4 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, they keep re-signing their goddamn manager, who's the one who's like pulling the strings on the field with the play. So, if they're not doing that, how about we look at some type of adjustment there?
No, but if he's looking at
Brian,
Brian,
pretty fucking cheap.
If Hal is looking at Brian Cashman and saying, you constructed this roster, it's very top heavy in payroll with certain guys making a lot of money, not saying Judge and Cole are bad contracts, but that's a lot of money tied up in just 2 players. And then there's a lot of bloat. There was a lot of bloat in the middle there too. Like Aaron Hicks was making $10 million and literally didn't play for them this year. The Yankees have to pay him.
Yeah. Well, you could cry about what's in the past or look at what the assembled team is today. And the assembled team today is pretty fucking good.
And
honestly, the team is good.
The reason why this angers people is
and look what happened with the Texas Rangers until they started spending some money and actually getting legitimate players. They had to spend money.
Yeah. Spending on talent is usually going to be a good thing, but it's annoying because no fan of the Yankees wants to hear the owner talk about reducing payroll next year. That's just like a bad headline. It's just a bad thing to say.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to do it, just don't tell us you're going to do it.
Not now when everything's going so well, too.
Not a week after you just talked about
signing Juan Soto in the middle of the year.
I feel like that to me, him talking about open to talking to Juan Soto, that was to me uncharacteristic of Hal. That surprised me. So if anything, I feel like this comment was in direct response to him saying that.
Yeah, it's like pulling it back a little bit because you know why? Because Juan Soto feels like such a Steinbrenner guy, just like a Steinbrenner family guy. You know what I mean? Like he's the superstar. Aaron Judge is our superstar and he came up, but Juan Soto is like the shiny, amazing superstar that everybody wants and everybody has the opportunity to get, but they got. And that's an ego play at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's very Steinbrenner-esque.
Yeah, we don't, but that's George Steinbrenner-esque.
I know, but there's blood that goes into different people in the family. And at some point,
how many times have we said Hal does things?
He said the Steinbrenner thing and then he took it back because he's Hal.
I know. Yeah.
So it's there, but then he took it back. But he
So
said it.
I was shocked
he
he said it. I was shocked he said it. What he said on Jack Curry's podcast, right?
He must have had a dream. Big Stein came to him in the dream.
Big Stein incepted his brain.
Can't you see Big Stein? You know that picture of him like over the stadium? That's him in the dream. It's right over his big ass pillow, his big ass golden pillow that he sleeps on.
It's just like the team's winning. They're in first place. Everyone loves Juan Soto. You just talked about how, we want to sign Juan Soto, and then a week later, we can't be spending this type of money. It's just like,
To be fair, I don't think that he's saying that necessarily. I think he's talking about a situation that's there, and I think he said this in the past. It's not like he hasn't said this. He said these exact words before. He shouldn't have to spend $300 million to put a winning product on the field. And
I've been a broken record with this.
Yeah. He's not. That's Larry David, but he hasn't.
No, that was kind of Larry David doing Hal Steinbrenner.
That's what I mean. That's Larry David. He's also not totally wrong in that regard. But again, like inflation, baby.
But guess what?
Shit's expensive today. All right, the world is expensive.
But you gotta pay Hal?
People. There's no goddamn salary cap.
The $300 million ship for your roster has sailed. Because you got $202 million committed for next year without signing Juan Soto.
Right.
Okay. And you're going to sign Juan Soto.
Maybe you should just figure out maybe you should go over to your boy who's in charge of the money and ask him if he knows what a deferred contract is.
Who's your boy?
Maybe Lon Trust knows what a deferred contract is.
I don't think Scott Boras
Randy Levine knows
Scott Boras is not taking deferred contracts.
I don't know.
I would be surprised.
Juan Soto's already turned down 14 years at what, $470 million,
and he's probably going to get 15 years, $650 million.
I'm just saying, like the man has turned down huge contracts already, like
ones
that haven't been served.
But hold on,
yet,
like just
without deferred money.
By the simple math of this, though, they're going to need to spend $300 million next year, assuming they sign Juan Soto. It's just going to happen.
He's 25 years old. He's going to get 15 years.
No, but like you've got 202, you've got $202 million committed for next year. You sign Juan Soto, that goes to 242. Best case scenario, he's getting a $40 million contract per year, right?
Worst case scenario. Oh, best case scenario for the Yankees.
For a team, he's getting $40 million plus. Yeah. So let's be generous and call it you're at 242. Add in all your arbitration guys. You're at 285 or whatever that number becomes. You got to sign. You got to get. If you want Rizzo back, there's $17 million. Oh, look, you're at $300 million. Okay, we don't want Rizzo. We're gonna try and. You got to sign some first baseman.
Is Ben Rice still tearing up minor leagues?
You're gonna need a second baseman when Glaber's off the books. Second baseman
Peraza
aren't cheap.
Yeah, Peraza's cheap. Done.
Great.
Slide LeMahieu over there. Sign Miguel Andujar.
Then you need a third baseman.
Half the team's going to be Moneyball. Half the team's going to have like massive contracts. This is what they're going to do. They're going to be like, okay, math.
But do you think someone sat down with Hal after this and be like, actually, Hal, we're going to have to spend $300 million next year?
Yeah, he knows that. He's just getting his shots in while he can.
Okay,
he knows that. He absolutely knows that. Assuming Juan Soto is in the cards, which, again, I don't know how many times we got to say this, it would be absolutely asinine for the Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner to not have him in the cards. The Yankees are going to be flirting with 300 pretty quickly. And you're right. Cole's getting more.
Well, I don't think his AAV goes up. It's just
a little bit, doesn't it?
I think it just tacks on another year.
Okay.
But between Soto and arbitration eligible players, you're 280. You get to 300 very fast.
John Birdie could play third base.
Great. Well, he's going to get a raise in arbitration next year. I don't know if he's in arbitration.
He's like 35.
That's going to wrap it up for today's show. Thank you guys so much for listening and for submitting those mailbag questions. If you want to do so for next Thursday's episode, that is info@bronxpinstripes.com. Monday's a holiday. The Yankees are not playing on Memorial Day, which is
weird.
Should be anti-American. They didn't play 4th of July last year.
That's what it was. It was something that one of the holidays they didn't. Yeah, how could you not play on John Sterling and Steinbrenner's birthday?
Yeah. So what were you telling me to stop for?
I was saying that we missed one thing because it got overshadowed, and I just want to throw some flowers at Marcus Stroman, because Marcus Stroman pitched his ass off on Monday night and was just an unfortunate bearer a casualty of that game, of what happened in the ninth inning, but pitched his ass off. And 7 1/3, gave up 3 hits, an earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 96 pitches too into the 8th inning, like efficient. He was really good, and so yeah, he's been very good. He's had a couple minor blips, but even when he's off, I feel like he grinds and gives the Yankees a good outing. And I like the player, I like the guy, coming off the field, giving it to the fans in a really positive way. I just like Marcus Stroman. I think he's a really good addition to this team, and he pitched his ass off and deserved a better fate than that. So yeah.
I mean, like, the Yankees split the series, like we said, should have won on Monday. Who knows what happens on Tuesday if Boone makes the correct.
We'll give him Tuesday. We'll give him Tuesday. Monday, it should have been 3 or 4, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back at you again on Monday, recapping the Padres series. We'll talk to you then.